Good morning, everybody. Lee Brower here, and welcome to this week's edition of Meaningful Monday. I am grateful to be here, and I'm grateful to be here, and I'm glad to be here. So let's begin in gratitude. Today, I'm grateful for the milestones in my life. You know, those little markers that remind us that we're moving forward. Each milestone is a celebration. And I'm not talking about just in our past, but it's because I know I've got milestones to look forward to in the future. See, not because I've arrived, but because I know I'm still flowing towards something even bigger. A few weeks ago, I was sitting next to a gentleman on an airplane and we got talking and he told me how he just sold his business. And I said, "And what are you doing now?" And he says, "Well, he says, now that they've bought it, instead of me running a company of 100 people, I'm running a company of 1,000 people. And I like the challenge." I said, "Good for you." So what's next? He said, "Oh, well, looks like, maybe 2, 3, 4 years they're going to sell it." And I said, "Then what are you going to do?" And he says, "Well, I'm not sure." He says, "Well, plenty of money." And I said, "So that?" And he sat back for a second. He said, "Well, that's so that, my wife and I, we can travel. We've always wanted to travel different places. We could do things with our kids and we'll just have that freedom to do it." And I said, "So that?" And after about the third "so that," he says, "Nobody's ever asked me that before. I've never really thought about that before." How powerful is it that we have a "so that"? I worked in the prisons for a while, or counseling prisoners, some for life in prison. But it didn't matter, the young ones or whatever, when I'd ask them about their "so that," the "so that's" just your future. And if you're not living from your future, then you're not living. There was a study along the same line that just jumped out at me one time. It was called Goals Gone Wild. It was probably done 15 years ago. And it was done from researchers from Harvard, Wharton, Kellogg, and Eller business schools. And basically, it said they discovered that while goals can sometimes motivate people, they often do just the opposite of what we want. They said goals can cause us to narrow our focus so much that we miss what really matters, to take shortcuts, or even cheat to hit the target, cheat. And when we finally get there, when we finally arrive, we often feel empty, almost like the joy is gone. That's from a study. And when I read that, it confirms something I've been saying for years. You know it. The enemy of thriving is arriving. Think about it. Arriving at a destination can trick us into believing the journey is over. But thriving requires us to keep growing, to keep moving, to keep flowing. And that's why I choose not to use the word goal. It's a finish line. I want to use the word milestone, and I can get just as excited. Imagine you set a goal to lose 20 pounds. The day you hit that number, you celebrate. Probably eat cake, whatever. But then what? You see, without the "so that," too often people relax, slip back into the old habits, sometimes end up worse off than they were before. "So that" will carry you throughout your entire life. No finish lines. You see, if you see each event as a milestone, not the end, just a marker, you celebrate the progress and then ask, what's my next milestone? Maybe it's building strength, having more energy to play with your kids, or walking faster than before. Those are all milestones along that journey to become a healthier you. I think the shift has also changed how I see leadership everywhere. Motivation, we try to pull people towards a destination. And yes, they can be motivated. They can be motivated to cheat, fudge the numbers, etc., to hit what their goal is. But to be inspired is different. See, inspiration isn't pushing or pulling you, it's lifting you. Take a teacher. A teacher inspired by love of learning doesn't cheat her students. She creates curiosity that lasts a lifetime. Motivation isn't about pressure. Excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I said that wrong. Motivation is about pressure and performance. Inspiration is about purpose and flow, and the performance will follow and probably exceed and expand beyond what it was before. No one is truly inspired to cheat. So when working with others, even ourselves, whether it's other entrepreneurs, our families, our communities, don't look at your role as motivator, as motivating them to hit the goals. Look at your role is to inspire. Think how the world would change. Inspire them so that you can celebrate the milestones, celebrations and outward display of gratitude, so that you can keep flowing towards a horizon. And then you'll create ripples of impact that never end, that go beyond you, go beyond your lifetime. So here's my challenge for this week. Think of one milestone. Pick one milestone that you can celebrate this week, not as a finish line, but as a marker to keep you inspired and flowing towards your horizon. If you celebrate your milestones, you get the energy of the celebration of that outward display of gratitude to keep you in motion. Remember, it is not about arriving. It is about thriving. Make life meaningful. Have a meaningful week. Maybe make it a milestone to join me next week, okay? On our journey. Have a meaningful week. We'll talk next time. Bye-bye.